Yeah? Where's the first?
Yeah.
All right.
You got ice on your
Do
chest?
you know where you are? You know what state you're in?
Yeah, California.
Okay. What city are you in?
No way I
would want to do that too. Yo, paramedic.
Yeah.
Before we go,
Joe Rogan just straight up punched Jake Paul in the chest after Jake announced he was canceling his fight with Mike Tyson. Yep, Joe Rogan, the podcast king and UFC commentator, showed Jake what happens when you mess around too much. Don't forget, Rogan's got some serious MMA background, and before you think Joe went rogue and did something illegal, let's get the story straight. Jake was the one who started this chaos, trash-talking Tyson and his struggles with addiction. And let's be real, Jake probably never imagined that a podcaster could put him to sleep. To be honest, Joe and Mike haven't known each other for years. Joe first met Mike in person on his podcast on January 17th, 2019. But Mike's got such a powerful presence that even now, 5 years later when it comes to Mike Tyson, Joe doesn't listen to anyone else. It was because at that time, Joe Rogan and Mike Tyson had some pretty intense podcasts. These weren't just your average chats. They were packed with fiery insights and heated discussions that made everyone sit up and pay attention.
I know you're not gonna win, but somebody said, would you fight this guy for like 40 million or 30 million bucks? I said, man, get the whoa. I said, oh, there's something ding. I was just getting ready to get the fuck. I said, whoa.
Joe and Mike didn't hold back their thoughts about Jake Paul at all. It was the time when Jake was continuously begging Mike Tyson to step into the ring with him. Tyson, with his legendary confidence, made it clear that he was more than ready to face Jake in the ring. Despite his age, Tyson emphasized that he still had the power, skill, and ferocity that made him a boxing legend. Joe, ever the respectful host and loyal friend, echoed Tyson's sentiments, showing unwavering support for the former heavyweight champ. After that, in every podcast, Rogan issued several blunt warnings to Jake Paul. He highlighted Tyson's preparedness and his ability to deliver a knockout blow to anyone who dared underestimate him. Joe painted a vivid picture of Tyson's relentless training and undiminished power despite the years.
I don't give a fuck if he's 55. That's still Mike Tyson.
Mike's in good shape, too.
Oh, my God.
Mike trains every day.
He trains with Rafael Cordero, who's a legend in MMA. He runs King's Mixed Martial Arts.
But Rogan's warnings weren't just about respecting Tyson's skills. He genuinely cared about Jake's well-being. Beyond the bravado and social media stunts, Rogan saw potential in Jake, but also a lot of naivety.
See him holding the mitts for Tyson, and Tyson smashing the mitts. Like, Jesus, that guy can still fuck you up.
He don't want to fight Mike.
In this,
Joe's tone often shifted from admiration for Tyson to a more serious, almost fatherly concern for Jake. He wanted Jake to succeed, but feared the young fighter was biting off more than he could chew. These podcasts served as a bridge between Jake's youthful overconfidence and the harsh realities of facing a veteran like Tyson. Joe often pointed out Tyson's experience, emphasizing that boxing isn't just about physical strength but also about mental toughness and strategic thinking, areas where Tyson excelled.
That is in his mind still. That's in there. There's a dark chamber in his mind that he can open up.
Yeah.
And I think he's got it open. The question is, can his body move along with it?
Rogan's concern for Jake was genuine. He didn't want to see the young boxer get hurt. He understood the allure of the spotlight and the thrill of the challenge, but he also knew the brutal reality of boxing. Rogan's warnings were not just about respecting Tyson, but also about protecting Jake from potentially severe consequences. In today's world, people rarely appreciate help, and Jake Paul is no exception. Not a single word of Joe Rogan's concern could get through to Jake. Now, Jake Paul has built a reputation as the world's biggest trash-talking boxer. His relentless provocations and unapologetic attitude keep him in the headlines as much for his antics outside the ring as for his fights. Jake's mouth is as much of a weapon as his fists, stirring controversy and keeping the spotlight firmly on him. It's not just about promoting fights for Jake, it's about maintaining a constant buzz around his name, and he's exceptionally good at it.
I hope y'all keep that same energy when I knock this old man the fuck out.
One of Jake's favorite targets has been none other than the legendary Mike Tyson. Despite Tyson's storied career and status as a boxing icon, Jake held nothing back. In interviews and social media posts, Jake repeatedly dismissed Tyson's relevance in today's boxing world. In one particularly infamous moment, Jake referred to Tyson as a has-been, saying, "Fighting him would be like fighting an old man in the park." What's the point? This comment, made during an exclusive gathering with other notable fighters and personalities, created quite a stir. Jake didn't stop with Tyson. He also set his sights on Joe Rogan, a respected figure in the combat sports community. Known for his extensive knowledge of martial arts and his long-standing friendship with Tyson, Rogan was not spared from Jake's sharp tongue. At the same gathering, Jake accused Rogan of being biased and out of touch. "Joe's stuck in the past," Jake sneered. "He's never given me any credit because he's biased towards the old school guys. He can't stand the fact that someone like me is shaking up the sport." These remarks weren't just dismissive. They were deeply personal, attacking Rogan's integrity and his standing in the combat sports world.
Give a fuck if you think he's 55 years old. That guy will hurt you. If Jake Paul's on the other side of the ring and he sees Mike Tyson just fucking bobbing and weaving, he's going to have a recognition. He's going to look over and go, "Oh my God, that's really Mike Tyson."
The tension between Jake and Rogan didn't build overnight. It escalated over several interactions. Joe often discussed Jake Paul on his podcast, making no secret of his concerns about Jake's approach to boxing and his blatant disrespect towards seasoned fighters. Rogan, known for his composed and analytical demeanor, tried to warn Jake about the dangers of underestimating veterans like Tyson. He emphasized the importance of experience and respect in the sport, qualities Tyson embodied and Jake seemed to disregard. In one podcast, Rogan directly addressed Jake's comments about Tyson.
There's not a fucking chance in hell that Jake Paul would survive against the Mike Tyson that beat Marvis Frazier. You're in savage mode right now. He's in savage mode. If I was Jake Paul right now, I would be shitting my pants.
Oh, bro! If I'm fighting this guy and I see he's eating raw meat, I call the fucking thing off.
Rogan's attempts to reason with Jake were genuine, coming from a place of concern rather than confrontation. He recognized Jake's potential, but was wary of his reckless attitude. Jake's response? He doubled down on his arrogance. Instead of heeding Rogan's advice, Jake mocked him on social media, calling him a washed-up commentator and questioning his relevance. "Joe Rogan thinks he knows everything, but he's just another guy who talks big from behind a mic," Jake tweeted. "He's never been in the ring like I have. He doesn't get it." These remarks only fueled the growing animosity between the two. And then came the day when Joe Rogan truly showed Jake what it feels like to throw verbal punches with his fists. The unexpected encounter happened at the renowned Wild Card Boxing Club in Los Angeles, a top-tier training camp famous for its elite clientele and intense training atmosphere. Joe was there on June 15, 2024, for personal reasons, catching up with the legendary trainer Freddie Roach about upcoming projects and the latest in the boxing world. Rogan, always passionate about combat sports, frequently visited these camps to stay connected with the sport's evolving dynamics. The Wild Card Boxing Club was buzzing with energy that day. Fighters of all levels were perfecting their skills, the sound of gloves hitting bags echoing through the gym, trainers shouting instructions, and the occasional ring bell signaling the start or end of a round. The place had a mix of old-school grit and modern training techniques, with posters of past and present champions adorning the walls, adding to the gym's legendary aura. As Joe chatted with Freddie Roach, the gym doors swung open, and in strolled Jake Paul with his entourage. Yaki, known for his brash attitude and larger-than-life persona, instantly commanded attention. Dressed in his flashy workout gear, he exuded confidence and arrogance with every step. Rogan's surprise was evident, but he kept his cool. He was no stranger to unexpected situations, especially in the wild world of combat sports. Rogan nodded in acknowledgement as Jake entered the gym. There was a brief moment of eye contact between them, a silent exchange that hinted at the underlying tension from their past interactions. Jake, unfazed by the attention, strutted across the gym, making his presence known. He greeted a few trainers and fighters with his usual bravado, but his focus was clearly on Rogan. The air was thick with anticipation, everyone in the gym sensing the potential for confrontation. As Jake began his warm-up, news broke that he had officially canceled his highly anticipated fight with Mike Tyson. The announcement spread like wildfire through the gym, adding another layer of tension. It seemed like Jake just came to the camp after posting this video.
Yeah, the news is true, folks. I, Jake Paul, will be fighting Mike Perry, Tampa, Florida, July 20th.
Jake's decision to back out had been a topic of intense speculation and debate, and now, in Rogan's presence, the significance of the news was amplified. Jake, always ready to address the elephant in the room, made his reasons known loudly. Yeah, I canceled the fight with Tyson, he said, making sure his voice carried. He's a has-been. Fighting him would do nothing for my career. I'm looking for real challenges, not outdated legends trying to relive their glory days. Obviously, he was teasing Joe with his words. Rogan, maintaining his calm demeanor, watched Jake with a steely gaze. He knew Jake's penchant for provocative statements and controversy. Rogan's expression remained impassive, but the intensity in his eyes suggested he was ready for whatever came next. He knew Jake's words were not just about Tyson, but also a challenge to the respect and legacy of seasoned fighters. Freddie Roach, sensing the rising tension, tried to keep Rogan engaged in their conversation, but it was clear Rogan's focus was now on Jake. Jake's decision to cancel the Tyson fight had broader implications. As Jake continued his workout, the tension between him and Rogan became more palpable. The gym, usually a place of disciplined focus and camaraderie, was now a battleground of egos and ideologies. Rogan's calm demeanor was a stark contrast to Jake's brash arrogance, highlighting the generational and philosophical divide between them. That was the final straw. Rogan, in a move so swift it left everyone in shock, stepped forward and landed a powerful punch right on Jake's chest. The impact was immediate and brutal. Jake's body jerked back, his face a mix of shock and pain as he staggered, trying to stay upright. The gym exploded into chaos. Ryan Garcia, who was nearby, sprang into action, rushing to Jake's side. The other attendees quickly followed, shouting in alarm and confusion, trying to assess the situation and stop things from getting any worse.